Yo, it's Guido coming at you with the Tactics Talk, guys. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. I got to turn on my lights. Hold on, let's see here. Oh, there we go. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? We have Geodan 1 from Clan GFLC. He is platooned with Piranha. He's got a 12T, the AMX 12T, a Tier 6 light tank. So here on Studzianski. Now, Studzianski causes me problems, so I always like watching games and see how people play it. Maybe pick up a few ideas of what's going on. I like this bush. I've used it before. Sometimes get you shots. It will light guys up in that little pit, but people have a hard time shooting them because they are lower. But a couple guys got shots. Unfortunately, no assist damage for Geodan. Looks like there's a pretty good push down on the south. His platoon mate is looking for shots from his spots on the middle, as is the 100Y. I wouldn't really expect the 100Y to go much anywhere different than that, at least initially. And he's got the standard heavies kind of hanging out in that little factory area with some enemy heavies facing him. They gave up the north more or less. There's a Super Hellcat kind of watching it, and their 5916 is I don't know what doing in the back there. And their Eagle 7's also in the middle as well. So we can see some things like light tanks trolling around. He can pick guys up, moving around in the middle. Maybe catch them on the edge of their little sniper hill. The type comes up, gets hit, gets stunned. He's lit. We hold fire. He gets tracked, and then Geodan says, you know what, this is a good opportunity to take out their Tier 6 light tank. And now we're going to run away, but we're going to eat a shot. Little clip management. He forces a reload. And yeah, I don't know, man. I might have taken one shot and started moving, maybe auto-aimed and just fired as I ran. It was an opportunity to take their scout out early, but you did eat about half your hit points doing it. We come back around here, and we're going to go ahead and jump back in this bush. Now, what we're going to talk about later on in this particular match is this ends up being a very close game. And it kind of really comes down to the wire. But the question then when you have a close game is, how could we have turned this thing around? How do we leverage the platoon, a light tank, and a sniper TV and turn this into a win? I thought this was super aggressive. I'm surprised nobody saw you. They didn't. The enemy team is really kind of hanging back in this particular match. And you can see that the green team is filtered down in the south and is headed over into the southeast. And usually that's a pretty good recipe for winning, but what ends up happening is they sort of get stuffed. And what they're missing a little bit here, Geo, in my opinion, is some scout action. So that's nice, little shots of opportunity. We take that guy out, fantastic. And that's what a scout does. He looks for those little opportunities to kill guys off. And we kind of get enamored of what's going on in the middle over there. Get back to your camera. I think your Hellcat and your 3045M and your P43 could have used a scout over there. Kind of get back in that corner and see if you can't find some of these guys on the back edge, whatever is hanging out in the back there. There's a Tiger 1 missing, and he doesn't show up for a long time. But we're kind of content to sit here waiting for people to get shots from us. So I really think it was time right here to start being a little bit more aggressive scouting, a little bit more active in your scouting, vice hanging out in the bush. You are getting some spotting on these guys. Your dudes are shooting across, but it looks like the enemy team is reacting to you. So the 3045, the AMD's moved over, and they start taking fire. Nice job here. That guy makes a foolish move. He fires, gets tracked, gets hammered, and fantastic. We're up to 840. And so we're creating an advantage. Our team really should start to take that advantage, and I would have shot that right there. Take that advantage and start turning it into something, right? But unfortunately, we're just sort of sitting in this bush going, okay, it's working, let's just keep going with it. When really what we should have been doing is, again, headed over there. Now they're really starting to take hits. Get yourself over there and start lighting these guys up and figure out if maybe you can even get into their artillery and start winning that southeast flank right there. So we're going to hang out. All right, good. We got another kill. It's looking even better. I'm assuming that was to see if you got lit. I don't know. If I was going to do that, I might have moved back a little bit so I could get away quickly. I mean, it's 6-2. This really should be over by now if we start moving around as our scout and getting lights for people. We've done a nice job creating a big opportunity, creating a big advantage. And I thought you were going to do it right here. I thought, okay, he's going to... But no, we spin around. And now we're going to head back over here. And we're going to start lighting up the guys in the middle. Now, the thing about the guys in the middle, who cares? They're not going to do anything. Was there a shot here? I think there was a... Hard to tell. Maybe there wasn't a shot there. They're taking care of that guy anyway. Those guys aren't going to do anything. They're facing a Tiger 1, a T-29. They're locked down. Who cares about them? I would completely ignore them. What you want to do is clean up whatever's going on over here. It's time to help these guys and your artillery. These guys are going to sit here and peek and poke and do whatever they're doing. Well, who cares? No factor. You may have been talking to Pirani about, hey, let's get some shots here, but why don't we clean these dudes up, and then we'll get even better shots into here. So go find that 3485. Help your Hellcat and your 3485M, who are both pinned down. And I don't know what the conversation was between you and Pirani, but this dude is obviously spotted. He's getting pounded. He's getting artied. He's locked down, and he needs help figuring out what the heck is locking him down. The T-20, the T-29, and the Tiger 1, there we go. So their 3045 pushes in, and look at that. Little double tap, I'd imagine, artillery and potentially the Tiger 1. Because guess what? The other Tiger 1 is actually back here somewhere. And all of a sudden, we've gone from, there he goes, he just dies. All of a sudden, we go from a pretty big advantage to a disadvantage on an entire flank. I think maybe you take a chance there and start whittling that guy down. Just start taking shots on him. All right, technical difficulties. Here we are back again. He just typed in, need to kill the T-29, some other things. You know what? I completely disagree with that. Who cares about this? Get over here and finish off this 3045. And I think had we done that earlier and cleaned up this flank, we'd be doing a lot better right now. So 3045 is moving across. The 100Y is still back there. He's actually over in this. What is he doing? He's gone into your pit, or he's behind those bushes right there. Okay. So the T-29, you know, see how useless he is? The guy, it doesn't matter. If you can put some buildings between you and him, you can start taking on this 3045. Now, I thought this was a great reaction. You two guys are going to go right after this guy. I think this is exactly right. Come on in here, start shooting him. Takes an arty hit. One shot, another shot. All right, fantastic. Straight into pressing C for the reload. Couple errant artillery shots. We come up and over, and I would continue to press this advantage over here. So your Hellcat, and all of a sudden we see a Tiger, and we go, oh my gosh, a Tiger, we have to run away. Which I disagree with a little bit. You weren't going to go solo him. What happens here is we just kind of basically let this guy go. That Tiger with 11 hit points. I don't know how your arty did not kill that guy off. Maybe he tried a couple times, but even just a little splash was going to take that dude out. You are going to need some help against the Tiger. The two of you, because he reloads so fast, he'll have the two of you down in about 15 seconds. And the amount of damage you can put out in 15 seconds between the two of you is not 1,500. So I liked this right here. But just imagine had you gone in there earlier when you had all the guns you had, and you'd taken out the 3485 and the Tiger together. Now you got a problem, right? Now you got a Tiger in the hen house, and this is going to be really hard. I thought this was a pretty good move. I thought you were going to hang out right about here and maybe ambush that guy and then dive down in the middle and try to get away. But we actually just run off. So now some hit and run time against this Tiger. Tried to go up that and didn't get there. It's a good thing that Tiger wasn't just bulling forward. It kind of surprised me he didn't just go. I mean, if he was counting noses, all he had to do was drive right straight up this flank and take you guys down. And it looks like he might do that eventually, but not as fast as I would have guessed. There he goes. You get spotted. That's a bit dangerous because now the Tiger and the T-29 do have shots on you. Plus there's two M44s, relatively accurate. Arty takes a chunk of them, not much. I think it was only 20 hit points or something like that. And now we're going to come back to here. All right, so at this point then, okay, we didn't take the flank down. The Tiger's a problem. But the Tiger's isolated, and now all your power is up in the north. Right? You've got the T-29, one Tiger in the south. You got the T-20, T-29, and a Tiger. And you've got a T-29 and a Tiger in fairly good condition, and a Su-100 and an artillery. I think I would have swung now over to there and just helped them take these guys down. Just get over there. Either get up to the north and try to figure out where the T-20 is, get rid of him, and then start getting flanking shots on these guys. Help where your strength is, because you had strength over here, but you kind of let it go. Now it's time to just let the Tiger wander around, and who cares if he gets on the cap? Doesn't matter. Just tell they already needs to run. If the Tiger comes to the cap, it's not a huge big deal, although he may start getting shots into the back of the T-29 and the Tiger, but you two can't take him on. So I would have taken your fast tanks, and I'd have reinforced your guys up there in the north, and taken them down. I mean, you could have zinged in there. If you'd have come along here, come down low, pop up, and go right on a strafing run by her, you probably could have taken out that near-dead tiger. And once you break the tiger, the rest of you jump all over the T-29, and it's pretty much all over but the shouting in there. So the key then, endgame with a scout, a lot of times, is to find those assassination avenues. Now, the 100Y gets it. He's kind of trying to move in there. Had you gone in there and added your eyes and your little autoloader to that scrum over there, and your team just gets absolutely annihilated trying to get in there and take these guys down. I mean, there they go, but it's rough. There's the T-20. He's flexed back in there. The 100Y is getting hammered. He eats it. The Tiger 1 finally dies. They get a little chunk off the T-29. And meanwhile, your T-29 has not reacted to the push. And when he finally does, he's late. And it's a mess. It's just an absolute disaster over there. And we just sit here, right, kind of watching it happen. Take a little shot, little poke. There we go. We got another one into him. Artie takes another small chunk. And then the T-29 gets owned. I don't know if he gets one more shot at the T-20. Does he kill one? I think he does. Now there's one of the M44s. That's good to know. And then the Tiger, sensing the kill, and now he's moving in. And there you go. Your T-29 dies, and we're both just kind of sitting here. You know, really, there are critical times in the game. I think the first one was when your team was positioned to own this flank, and you guys just sat there. Didn't get together, get your scout in there and take them down. The second one, the big critical one, was letting this go down without your help. And both times, both of you just kind of, hey, I'm a TD, hey, I'm a passive scout, I'm just going to kind of hang out back here. And you let those two opportunities go big time. So now you got a time problem. You really do. I mean, it's you, it's Pirani, and it's an artillery, and you've got a T-29 and a T-20 up there, 2 Artie, and a near full hit point Tiger 1 coming in. You know, what's the plan? I think Pirani does a nice job with the bush right here. Looks like he maybe even tried to track him, so good on him. You're taking shots. The Artie gets his lick in. You're doing what you can. Looks like he tracked him again. Nicely done. And then we get, hallelujah, an ammo rack for the last 500 hit points. And well done. We took him down together. And that's the kind of synergy and teamwork you probably could have done a little bit earlier, especially when you had more guns with you down in the southeast. All right, now, so we've got to this point. You know, it is what it is. Here we are. What do we do? Man, I would tell you what, I would ignore the T-21 and T-20, and I would take my little tank and I would head right for their artillery and try to take their artillery down. We're going to come over here. The enemy team makes a bit of a mistake. Get our binocs cooking. I get it. Not a bad idea, but the X factor is those 2 artillery, and I just really do not want to let those 2 artillery live that long. There's the T-20. He's actually in rough shape. The Artie shoots at the T-29. T-20 comes up and over, and we do a nice job here not getting spotted based on our camo. A little double bush action right there because there's a bush in front of you that you were shooting through, and fantastic. And now especially, my artillery's gone. I would tell Pirani to get back in one of these bushes back over here. Just keep an eye on the cap. He can actually probably do the 15-meter double bush or 15-meter thing. Just watch, and if the T-29 trundles onto the cap, then back off the bush and get the reset. And I would even let it just keep timing down. I wouldn't even worry about it. And I would now take your scout and head straight back to their backfield. Now, you know one of the M44s is over here, last seen, but I'd go sweep this whole back row, look for their artillery, and try to take their artillery down. We have time. We got 4 minutes. No problem. The Hellcat can hang out back there. Artillery sort of just firing into things. Might have been that the T-20 was clicking on where he was shot from. And that's what I thought you were going to do. I said, oh, great. He's going to actually go along the south part of the map. He's going to come around these guys and start looking for the artillery. Again, I would have had Pirani go back into the corner back over there in one of the bushes with enough view range to see a gigantic T-29, which shouldn't be too much. I don't know if he has binocs or whatever on that thing, but he should have no problem seeing the T-29. And even if the T-29 gets on the cap right now, you still have time. And then you do this, and I'm thinking, oh, what are we doing here? Why are we driving through the very middle? I mean, it's a possibility one of the M44s might actually be forward in one of the bushes up on that hill, even just for such a thing. And then we come around here, and I'm thinking, oh man, why are we giving up what could have been a great initiative move? And then I thought, well, maybe the Hellcat, maybe Pirani's going to go back there and look for the Artie, but he doesn't. So you might have to fill us in on the discussion right here. A minute 31, who cares? Send the Hellcat back, or send the Hellcat to Artie and you go back. One of you go one place, one of you go the other. But what happens here is it looks like you're thinking, all right, we'll take care of the cap together. And just think about if you'd have still been driving. You'd have probably had one of those artillery dead by now, if not both. We're just kind of hanging out. Pirani moves back. And then it's obvious at this point you two are going to try to go double tap the T-29. So we got a minute left. And now we push in. So we push in. There's somebody on the cap. I'm assuming it's a T-29. It's possible it's one of the artillery. We'll take a look. Wouldn't be a bad idea for the artillery to get on there and the T-29 to be in a bush, but we'll find out what actually happens here. Nice and carefully come. There we go. So there's that guy. Got Pirani back here. Hopefully he's doing the 15-meter bush thing. Some things get knocked down. Oh, look at this. Now we got an artillery coming up. Fantastic. Yeah, I think I'd take him down. There you go. He's got terrible view range. Pirani does a nice job on the T-29. But unfortunately, and I don't know why he gets spotted. I don't know if it's because potentially he didn't have enough of a bush to be covered up by both those guys as they spread apart. Their view angle is going to get wider, and that makes the bush, depending on how far away it is, narrower and a little bit easier for him to see. So unfortunately, Pirani got spotted right there. We're going to bail out of this. And again, I still think you kind of had time to go look for the other artillery before we go after the T-29, but it's real tight now. That opportunity was lost a while ago. Yeah, it's really unfortunate. You did a nice job there. It's really unfortunate Pirani got spotted. We'd have to see his replay to see exactly how that happened. But he got a couple shots before he was seen. And the T-29 gets spotted, so he's probably got his 6 cents cooking. Nice job. He didn't see you. I like how you're doing this. He's probably... Yep, you got good instincts here. He probably is backing up. More than likely his turret is pointed to the left, but it might be pointed at this ridge. I think I would have my turret pointed at this ridge. But let's see where his is when you come up and over. I don't remember. Yeah, he's completely looking that way. Nice job on that. And now we've got 25 seconds for a prayer finding the other artillery. Maybe he was foolish and moved up close, and I might, you know, get sneaky and find him right in here, but we don't. It ends up being a draw, man. 7 kills, really nicely done. 2,610 damage, 2,167 assist, and 1 kill away from an 8-kill game, and a really nice carry. And the reason I wanted to do this one is because I really think you had multiple opportunities in here with just a little bit more aggression to really turn this into a win a lot earlier. Especially that early opportunity in the southeast when you still had all those guns to get your scout over there and try to find whatever it is that's camping in the back. Clean up that flank and then move into the middle. And then later on when you were kind of hanging out there watching that one Tiger, when I think the two of you should have shifted your forces north, helped clean up that factory and the ill-fated push by the rest of them right there. So 2 opportunities. And then late game, about the 4-minute mark where we're talking about it, should have gone after the artillery, swept up what was there. And then, see, here's the thing. When it comes down to a time situation like that, the one M44, you have no idea where he is. That's the one I would want to find first. And then I can come back and clean up guys hanging out by the cap. I already know the T-29's near the cap. More than likely, he's not going anywhere else. Not very fast, anyway. As long as he's on the cap, I know that's where one guy is. Have one of you go back to watch, just in case they try to dump 2 on there, which they sort of did there. But at least that one person then can sit back there and do a little double bush action on that map and reset. Okay. even if it takes a while for you to find that one, Artie, and take him down, you as it gets right towards the end, he may have to YOLO out and get the reset. There's a lot of different options there, but I think your best bet was to try to track down the Artie first. All right, man. I hope that helped. Just a different set of eyes on there. It'll be interesting to see what you have to say down below, because I'm sure you two are having a lot of conversations during this one. I think it's a great learning opportunity because it was so close, and it did show some very specific points where there was that decision tree, right? Do I do this or do I do that? All right, thanks for tuning in, everybody. I do appreciate your support of the channel. If you like what you saw, throw me a sub, and we will see ya.